What's up everybody and welcome back to another episode of Upcoming Mods. This is a series where I show you guys some of the mods that aren't quite ready for release for Skyrim Special Edition, but are kind of like in a work in progress. Some of the mod authors have been so kind as to share some work in progress pictures with us, and thus we have this series. It's important to remember though when watching that different mod authors work at different paces. A lot of these guys are working for free and this is just basically their hobby, so don't pressure them in releasing it too soon or to a specific platform that maybe they don't support. It's also important to remember that they work at different paces. Some of these might not be out for a few weeks, other ones might not be out for a few months. If you guys do enjoy the series, I really encourage you to consider subscribing, but with that being said, let's get right into it. So the first mod I do want to show you is the Dragon Lord armor. This is actually a mod that's technically being created for Skyrim, but it will be ported to Special Edition shortly thereafter. As you can see, it adds in this crazy awesome looking plate armor that has frankly a lot of detail to it, and I just think it looks very cool. I especially like the actual individual plates on this armor. You can see where almost every single one begins and ends, and I just really like that style with all those little bolts holding it all together. It looks very rugged but kind of put together in a masterful way. On top of that, this armor does intend to come with a few different swords and accessories as well. As you did see in some of the previous pictures, there is that kind of skirt going on, although I kind of prefer it without the skirt, as well as you do have kind of a red piece of hair coming out of the helmet like knights used to wear. But then we also do have a few different images of some of the different swords. As you can see, there's a few different ones. Those also look really good, and I like the option to have different ones. I know the mod author said he does plan to implement 3 different swords with their own kind of unique name and story behind them, which is very cool. This seems like an armor that should have a bunch of lore behind it just to make it fit into the game so well, and all around I'm very excited for this one. It's right up the kind of armor I like to use, and frankly it just looks like a pretty badass knight armor. So up next we do have the TheFalenthianIsles. I'm not sure if I'm pronouncing that right, but that's the best I could do. Basically, this is going to be another one of those DLC-sized expansion mods for Skyrim. The story behind it is that you, as an adventurer, were sent over there by the East Empire Company. You were basically sent there as an enforcer to try and make things all okay with the citizens and to develop some relationships. There's a lot of issues and turmoil going on there following the Oblivion Crisis, and basically there's going to be some other scary stuff going on as you're sent over there, hence the different quests you'll encounter and some of the different people you will meet. I've been following this mod actually for a little while. It's been a work in progress for a few months now, and I gotta say it does look really cool. A lot of the different images they have shown us just make me really want to play this. Again, there's so much for me to talk about. I can't analyze every screenshot individually, but one thing I am definitely noticing as I do look through a lot of these screenshots and compare this to other mods for Skyrim, it seems like this one's going to be much more unique as far as locations go. The way this is laid out is it is 3 individual isles or kind of little islands together, and it seems like there's going to be some different cultures and just some different themes going along with some of these different isles, and all around the landscape and just kind of the setting in general does look very cool for this mod, and I'm very excited for it for that reason. So up next we have an interesting one, the windows of Skyrim. So basically what this mod aims to add in is actual windows to a lot of the different buildings in some of the major cities in the game. So you may be like, well, why do I want windows in my game? Well, that's actually going to be for a thief character, someone who could break in without having to kick in the front door. So now you're going to be able to either lockpick your way through a window or just open and get through a regular window that maybe wasn't locked. All around, it's a very cool concept, and I actually really like the implementation of this. He is adding it again to a lot of the major cities, so some of those like kind of fancier houses that probably would have a window and maybe the front door is a little bit too risky to go through. It's adding a totally new dynamic and option to the game, giving it kind of more of a Dishonored or something like that feel. A relatively simple mod, but I think again a cool one in concept, and hopefully the implementation when we actually get to experience it will be equally as cool. So up next we have another massive quest mod. This one's actually a bit different though. The aim of Skywind is to actually port the entire game of Morrowind into Skyrim. Well, I guess port's the wrong word. They actually are trying to recreate the entire game of Morrowind in Skyrim, and it's actually been ported over to Skyrim Special Edition. As you may have guessed, this kind of project has been going on for quite a while, but fortunately they did get access to the mod tools, and it seems like they actually were able to successfully, on one of their earlier tries, port over the entire mod. So now we do have a bunch of new awesome screenshots using the kind of changed engine a little bit. Obviously this is one of those massive undertaking mods. It's one I've been very excited for a long time. I really encourage you to look through all the screenshots. There's about 52 in total from the album, and there's tons of other ones from older albums. All around, one of the most ambitious mods for Skyrim thus far, and one that I'm happy to see is progressing along pretty steadily and nicely. So last but not least, we have the Valkyrie shield and sword. So as you can see, this is basically going to add in a new armor, a new sword, and a new shield into Skyrim. This is by the same author as the original mod I did show you, and I gotta say both of these just look so good and so high quality. I think the concept behind this one does look even cooler than the initial one. I just really like the look and feel of this armor and shield together. I think there's a lot of characters out there that would fit the role of kind of that good guy, savior, individual. Obviously, it looks like it is only woman for the time being, although it seems relatively easy that this could be made for a male if it came down to it. Again, another really high detail armor, shield, and sword. Everything on this does just look like there's a lot of little details there, which we're really taking advantage of and complemented, which is really nice to see. That's gonna pretty much wrap it up for this episode of upcoming mods, though. I do hope you guys enjoyed as always, and I thank you for watching, and I do hope to see you all next time. Later.